Little Red Tractor chugged across the small bridge into Downhill Field. It was a beautiful morning in May. A skylark hovered high in the sky. Stan stopped Little Red Tractor and turned off his engine. "It's a lovely, wonderful day. It's a lovely, wonderful day." The skylark seemed to sing, adding a joyful trill as it swooped away to hover over Uphill Field. "Look, Patch," said Stan. "The skylark's trying to lead us away from its nest. We'd better leave Little Red Tractor here. We don't want to run over a skylark's nest." But Patch had not heard Stan or the beautiful song of the skylark. She was fast asleep in Little Red Tractor's cab. "I don't know, Patch," grumbled Stan. "All you want to do is sleep these days. You'd better look after her, Little Red Tractor, while I check on the lambs." Stan walked down the field towards the river. The sheep were lying quietly on the river bank, enjoying the early morning sun. The lambs bounced up and down with excitement when they saw Stan. "There's nothing wrong with those lambs," chuckled Stan. "They're as lively as ever." He was making his way back up the field when suddenly, "Oh, Lord!" he cried. "I almost trod on a skylark." Stan bent down to look at the skylark's nest. He counted 4 small eggs covered with brown specks and freckles, but was careful not to touch them. He moved away quickly so that the skylark could return to the important business of hatching eggs. When he got back to the tractor, Patch was still sound asleep. "Come on, Little Red Tractor," said Stan. "It may be Saturday, but we can't sleep. There's lots to do." The skylarks hovered anxiously over their nest. But as Little Red Tractor drove away, one dropped down to the nest and the other fluttered over to Uphill Field. Back in the yard, Stan hitched up Little Red Tractor's trailer and loaded it with some clean straw and some water. Then they set off for the pig field. All the way there, Patch was fast asleep on the straw. She didn't stir when the pigs ran squealing to meet Little Red Tractor. She grumbled when Stan made her move so that he could put the clean straw into the pig sheds. And she was lying in the sunshine fast asleep again when Stan said that it was time to milk the cows. When Stan whistled for Patch to help take the cows back to Owlwood Meadow, she was nowhere to be seen. Later in the morning, Stan found her curled up on a pile of sacks in Little Red Tractor's barn. "Well, Patch," he said, "you're a lazy old thing. You've been sleeping all the morning. I'm off to have my 11s." Stan was on his second cup of tea when the phone rang. It was Mr. Jones from Beech Farm, except that he wasn't at Beech Farm. He was in Wrigglesworth. "I'm at the cricket ground, Stan," said Mr. Jones. "We've got a bit of a problem, and I was wondering if you and Little Red Tractor could help." "We will if we can," said Stan. "What's the trouble?" Mr. Jones explained that he had promised to cut the cricket field for Wrigglesworth Cricket Club, but the ground was too soft for an enormous tractor like Big Fred. It was a job for Little Red Tractor. "Come on, Little Red Tractor," said Stan, as he rushed into the barn. "We've work to do in Wrigglesworth, and not much time to do it. The cricket match is due to start at 2 o'clock. Wrigglesworth? Suddenly Patch was wide awake. She jumped into Little Red Tractor's cab and they were off. Without the trailer, Little Red Tractor sped along. His wheels hummed a tune and he tooted proudly as he flashed past Walter's garage. Walter hardly had time to wave. They reached Wrigglesworth in record time. As they pulled into the cricket ground, Mr. Jones ran over and directed them to the gang mowers which had been left under a big chestnut tree by Big Fred. "Thank goodness you could make it, Stan," said Mr. Jones. "The match is due to start in less than 2 hours. Do you think Little Red Tractor will be able to cut the field in time? We'll have a jolly good try, said Stan. As Stan and Mr. Jones hitched the mowers to the back of Little Red Tractor, Patch jumped down to have a look. Then she wandered off to explore. Stan started Little Red Tractor's engine. "Come on, Little Red Tractor," he shouted. "Let's show them how to cut grass." Little Red Tractor got up to full speed very quickly. The blades on the mowers whizzed round and grass cuttings flew out of the back. "Little Red Tractor is just right for the job," shouted a delighted Mr. Jones. Little Red Tractor sped across the ground, leaving a wide swathe of lawn and the sweet smell of newly cut grass behind him. By 1 o'clock, the job was half done. By 2 o'clock, Little Red Tractor was cutting the very last piece of long grass around the edge of the ground as Mr. Jones, who was the captain, led the Wrigglesworth team onto the field. "Three cheers for Little Red Tractor and Stan," shouted Stumpy the miller, who was the Wrigglesworth wicket-keeper. Stan turned pink and Little Red Tractor felt very proud as the cricketers gave them a rousing cheer. "Great job, Stan," shouted Mr. Jones. "It would have been terrible if the grass had been too long for us to play our first game of the season. Will you stay for tea?" Stan was about to say that he ought to get back to Gosling Farm when one of the batsmen shouted, "You must stay, Stan. That's what we look forward to when we play at Wrigglesworth. Elsie's famous cricket tea." Elsie, Stumpy's wife, gave Stan a cheery wave from the pavilion. "You go and watch the cricket, Stan," she called. "I'll set a place for you." Stan parked Little Red Tractor in the shade of a big tree. He took a bottle of lemonade from Little Red Tractor's cab and settled down to watch the cricket. He whistled for Patch, but she was nowhere to be seen. "I expect she's asleep somewhere," he thought. "She won't have gone far." The visiting team scored 137 runs. Now it was Wrigglesworth's turn to bat, but before that, the 22 players, 2 umpires and Stan would sit down to one of Elsie's famous cricket teas. The tables were groaning under the weight of sandwiches, homemade pork pies and sausage rolls, cheese scones, currant scones and plain scones that you could spread with strawberry jam and clotted cream. There were fruit cakes, chocolate cakes and ginger cakes, and wonderful sponges filled with different flavoured jams and creams, all washed down with mugs of tea or lemon squash or both. Stan wondered how anyone could possibly play cricket after one of Elsie's teas. When play started again, Stan thanked Elsie for the wonderful tea and went outside to look for Patch, but he could not find her anywhere. Some of the cricketers joined in the search. They walked all around the ground calling for Patch. Stan was very worried. "It's not like Patch to run off," he said. "Could she have been locked in somewhere?" "No," said Stumpy. Then he said, I wonder." Stumpy fetched a key. "There is a storeroom around the back," he said. "It's where we keep the mower for the pitch and other bits and pieces. I'll go and check." As Stumpy disappeared round the corner, one of the Wrigglesworth batsmen took a big swing at the ball. The ball went high into the air. Fielders rushed around hoping to catch it, but it soared way over their heads and crashed down on the pavilion roof. "6!" shouted Mr. Jones. "No, 5!" shouted Stumpy from the back of the pavilion. And he was right. He had opened the door to the storeroom and found Patch in an old cricket bag surrounded by 5 beautiful puppies. "Oh, law, well, I never!" chortled the delighted Stan. No wonder Patch was so tired all the time. Everyone agreed that the puppies were the biggest surprise of the day. Mr. Jones stopped play so that Stan could drive Little Red Tractor across to the pavilion and insisted that Patch should keep the big old cricket bag as a bed for her and her puppies. Willing hands helped lift the bag into Little Red Tractor's cab, and with his precious load, Little Red Tractor chugged back to Gosling Farm. Is this the real Patch with her puppies? No, I don't think so. There are too many puppies. Patch had 5. Can you count how many there are in this litter? But they are border collie pups, so I think this must be one of Patch's relatives, don't you? When the puppies are born, they can't see, but they still manage to find their mother. It's important for them to have a fair share of her milk if they are to grow. After 2 weeks, their eyes will open and they will be able to see. These puppies are between 6 and 8 weeks old. They've been bred as pets and now they're almost ready to be sold. Ah, who's this? Someone's coming to look at the puppies. There are so many puppies, I think it will be hard for them to know which ones they like best. In the pen there are 2 border collies. These are only 4 weeks older than the ones we saw earlier. These are Labradors. And these black fluffy ones are called Alsatians, but their proper name is German Shepherd. Which puppy would you choose?
It's quite little. No.
If you want a puppy, you must remember that it will want to be your friend for life, so you will have to take it for a walk every day.
These puppies are just so happy.
If you want your puppy to stay happy, you must take good care of it. So buying a puppy that you can manage is very important. It's difficult to believe that puppies like these could ever be abandoned, but they are. Thousands are every year. What may seem like a good idea for a Christmas present may not seem such a good idea when they have to be taken for a walk on a wet and cold winter's day. And the cuddly little German Shepherd that you fell in love with will grow to be as big as this. This German Shepherd has been well cared for. You can tell by her bright eyes and shiny black coat. But what's happening here? These aren't puppies. They're kids. That's what you call baby goats. But like all babies, they're fed on milk.
Get off! Go away! You can't. You'll have some in a minute, little one.
Goats are curious creatures. They always like to know what's going on. But when feeding time comes, they have just one thing on their minds: milk. They're easy to feed because they just love it. and they do all the work. Milk helps the goats grow bigger and stronger every day.
It seems to chew it, not drink it.
It's the same with the puppies. Sometimes you think they will never stop growing until they get as big and strong as this German Shepherd.